A double-edged sword. Companies choosing to stay lean with fewer employees is bringing a whole new meaning to the phrase well-oiled machine. The Hustle, Wednesday, November 16th, 2016. Brought to you by LawTrades. The problem with doing more with less. Yesterday, our favorite paywall, The Information, published a study comparing the number of employees at some of the world's biggest tech companies on the day they reached $200 billion in market capitalization. Here are the full results, plus the year they reached $200 billion. Facebook, 2014, 9,199 employees. Microsoft, 1998, 27,000 employees. Apple, 2010, 46,600 employees. Alphabet, 2012, 53,861 employees. Amazon, 2015, 165,000 employees. Verizon, 2014, 176,800 employees. General Electric, 1997, 239,000 employees. AT&T, 302,000, 2007, 302,000 employees. What to make of this? Well, if there was an award for the company that creates the most stock value with the fewest number of humans on payroll, Facebook would win in a landslide. Each Facebook employee was worth $21.74 million in market cap, $200 billion divided by 9,199 in 2014. Meanwhile, AT&T employees were worth just $660,000, $200 billion divided by 302,000 in 2007. Pretty big difference in efficiency, to say the least. But here's the flip side of that coin. Finishing first in the study clearly proves that Facebook is adept at creating wealth with far fewer employees than its peers. However, it also proves that they aren't so adept at creating jobs. In other words, the losers of this study are actually the winners if we're talking jobs created, and let's be honest, we're always talking job creation, whether it's election season or not. The takeaway: in today's tech world, particularly in software, staying lean equals success. OMG, you're so nimble! And considering the companies that scale too quickly are typically the ones who go out of business, this way of thinking makes sense. But when it comes to jobs, it is clearly harmful. Oh, and just in case you forgot, the machines are still coming for our paychecks. That's still scheduled to happen in the very near future, which will only make this a more pressing issue. So the question is, will we still be celebrating a company like Facebook for doing more with less in 5 years? Or will we be ridiculing them for staying so lean in the face of machine-driven unemployment? Twitter, Facebook, food for thought. Speaking of tech giants with tiny teams, Snap, Snapchat's parent company, which had just 330 employees last year, confidentially filed for an IPO yesterday that values them anywhere from $25 billion to $35 billion. The bell ringing could happen as early as March 2017, and if completed, it will be the largest U.S.-listed technology IPO since Alibaba made its debut in 2014 at a record-setting $168 billion. Facebook went public in 2012 at a $81.2 billion valuation. Yellow Ghost to the rescue. 2016 has been a brutal year for the IPO market, as a paltry 103 companies have taken the leap. That's down from 165 last year, and is the lowest number of deals since 2009. So bankers and investors are hopeful that Snap starts a trend. And considering other tech behemoths like Uber are rumored to be interested in testing the public market waters themselves, the timing would be perfect. After all, a successful debut for Snap might just convince their brethren to jump right in. Twitter, Facebook, can't we just call it Snapchat? Mean tweets about meat. At the 2016 World Meat Congress last week, speakers named social media one of the largest threats to the meat industry. Wait, a World Meat Congress exists? Why weren't we invited? Not cool. Anyway, according to Global Meat News, again, this exists. Social media is doing what it does best, spreading negative news faster than PR teams can cover it up. What's the beef? Public concern over the threat that meat poses to the environment, animal welfare, food safety, and overall human health are all popular topics on social that have a negative impact. The numerous viral scandals involving horse meat burgers, mysterious pink slime, and a counterfeit meat market haven't helped either. End result? Consumers don't trust the industry. And did we mention there's a new burger on the block? Lab-grown, Cultured meats from companies like Mosa Meat and Impossible Foods promise burger alternatives that are free from animal cruelty, harmful bacteria, antibiotics, and saturated fat. Most importantly, they claim to taste pretty darn close to the original, red juice and all. Sure, it's not really meat, but to quote the crowning artistic achievement, Westworld, if you can't tell, does it really matter? Bottom line, if these new guys can deliver on even half of their promises, the traditional meat industry is in far more trouble than they are today. And a decade from now, at the 2026 World Meat Congress, they'll all be reminiscing about the good old days when our biggest worry was those damn millennials on the Twitter, Facebook, 2017 World Meat Congress. Hulu's making moves. Yesterday, Hulu acquired the Video Genome Project, VGP, the digital equivalent of that pimply Blockbuster employee who knew exactly which movie you should rent if you loved The Big Lebowski. VGP has one of the largest databases of video content on the planet, 8+ million records, and uses metadata to categorize and recommend videos in hyper-specific ways. How? By analyzing user activity, current events, and hidden connections like shows with music-driven plot lines. Dun dun dun! It's kind of like Pandora for movies. Pandora actually started as the Music Genome Project. What's going to change? Hulu plans to use VGP to improve its video recommendations, which account for 75% of its viewership, just in time for the launch of its live TV service next year. So, starting in Q1 of 2017, prepare to log into Hulu and see movies that will totally help you get over Lisa. Joke's on them. You're already totally over her. A new trend in the streaming industry? In the same way that cable surpassed network stations by offering niche content, streaming services like Hulu are trending towards providing unique shows for each viewer rather than one mega series for the masses. However, the overwhelming options come with a catch. The average person spends almost 20 minutes trying to figure out what to watch. So, from Hulu's perspective, their personal recommendation machine will feel like a friend telling you to watch something they know you'll love and eliminate those unnecessarily long browsing sprees. Will it help them unseat Netflix, though? That's the ultimate question, and the answer is probably not. But hey, if this means watching movies instead of searching for them all night, we're all for it. But that's just like our opinion, man. Twitter, Facebook, Hollywood Video to Blockbuster. This edition of The Hustle was brought to you by LawTrades. What's the difference between a lawyer and a liar? The pronunciation. Lawyers are the worst. Heck, there's a whole category of jokes about how bad they are. Objection, anyone? Pretty much the only time you talk to lawyers is when something is seriously wrong, and to make matters worse, it usually costs an arm and a leg. No more getting charged by the minute. If you had to reimagine how you'd hire a lawyer in an ideal world, it'd be LawTrades. You get an upfront price quote, and instead of haggling with a lawyer intent on drawing out the hours, you get a dedicated project manager who manages your lawyer's progress and deadlines for you. Plus, you can text LawTrades if making a phone call seems like too much work. Any excuse to use the gavel emoji? Am I right? Like we said, welcome to the new world of law firms where lawyer jokes aren't nearly as funny, so check out LawTrades next time your business needs the law on your side. You'll thank us later. The Hustle. Subscribe, advertise, jobs. Kendall, so a lawyer walks into a bar. Baker, writer. Lindsay Quinn, beginner. John Havel, editor. Io Silver, private loan officer. You opted in by signing up, entering a giveaway, or through divine intervention. 1381 9th Avenue, San Francisco, California. 94122 in the United States. 415-506-7210. Never want to hear from us again? Break our hearts and unsubscribe.